Welcome to the new Workology Go Podcast. In just under 5 minutes, we'll get you the HR and workplace news you need before you start your day 2 times a week. Get ready, get set, and go with the new Workology Go Podcast.
Here are today's HR and workplace news headlines from the Workology Go Podcast. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. This podcast is sponsored by HSA Bank. Being a mom has been one of the most rewarding and hardest things in my life. It's been a few years since I've had a newborn. My daughter now, Riley, is 10. However, as an HR leader and woman, I'm particularly sensitive to the subject of parental leave. Notice I didn't mention maternity leave. I'm in favor of time off for both parents. Today's featured article comes from Eater.com and is titled, Sweetgreen is giving parents 5 months of parental leave. For those of you who aren't aware, Sweetgreen is a 3,500 plus person company that many refer to as the Starbucks of salads. Doesn't that sound like fun? They are selling $13 salads to young professionals. This company was started in a dorm room at Georgetown University in 2007. While all that sounds really awesome and fun as the Starbucks of salads, the restaurant industry is particularly challenging to hire. It has some of the highest turnover and the lowest hourly wages. I know those of you who work in the restaurant industry know what I'm talking about, but for everyone else, turnover right now in restaurants in 2018 is at the highest levels ever recorded. The overall turnover rate in the restaurants and accommodation sector was nearly 75% in 2018, up from 72.5% in 2017. The 2018 turnover rate of 75% represents the highest levels since the Great Recession, after falling to a cyclical low of just over 57% in 2010, as reported by restaurant.org. It's crazy how turnover is so high. However, also in the mix is that the restaurant industry has 30% or more of employees that are considered part-time, meaning that the policy change by Sweetgreen is likely only to impact a very small number of their employees. Should that matter, and should others follow suit? We hear from Andy Devers. Andy is a friend of mine and an HR practitioner who is particularly passionate about the subject of parental leave, as she is a mom to a new son.
I do think that it matters that other employees follow suit. I heard a statistic recently. 1 in 4 women will return to work within 2 weeks of giving birth. 6 months is quickly becoming the gold standard in the United States for maternity leave and even other types of parental leave, which is huge when you think about that statistic I shared of 2 weeks going to 6 months, that gold standard. So 5 months in the restaurant space is phenomenal, and such an opportunity not only for new parents, but really leading the way for other types of leave and other types of flexible work arrangements and work options for all employees. In addition to those benefits to the overall company, also think about all the positives to the parent for the ability to be in a better mental place and to focus more on the work when they do decide to return. They'll have more time to adjust to their new normal. They've had a chance to adjust to changes to their body. And their baby is potentially at a different stage before they may have to enter into some sort of childcare. And potentially a longer leave might mean the difference between someone having to make the decision to not return to work at all versus returning to work at a later time when their child is a bit older. All in all, maternity leaves lead the way for changes to all other types of leave. And many of those changes, I think, benefit not only new mothers or new parents, but all employees. Longer maternity leaves or parental leaves ultimately give new parents, new mothers, more options.
While the restaurant industry might have some of the highest turnover, they also employ the largest percentage of Gen Z and younger millennials. This change by Sweetgreen is a sign, I think, of things to come. I'd like to see more companies, and I bet I will, that make the decision to offer parental leave like Sweetgreen and give parents more time beyond FMLA requirements. It's bold, and it's time to bond with their newborn and do that getting paid.
With health savings accounts, flexible spending accounts, health reimbursement arrangements, COBRA, and commuter benefits, HSA Bank is simplifying the health account experience for over 35,000 employers and 2.7 million members alike, inspiring everyone to own their health. Learn more at hsabank.com.
And that's this episode of the Workology Go Podcast, sponsored by HSA Bank. We're your go-to for HR and workplace news. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. Thank you for listening.
To learn more about the Workology Go Podcast, subscribe to us on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Our podcast is also available on Alexa and Google Home. Learn more at workology.com/Go Podcast and access this episode's resources, links, and reports for more information.